You,
Yo, yo.
how you doing?
I'm chilling. How about you, dude?
Me too. Just vibing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So what are we gonna do today? What's the plan?
Um, I feel like I have like a really big issue that I can't really like see what it is, but I can just like I can't express it. I feel like I can like feel it. I don't know.
Okay. Alright, that's something. We'll figure it out. Tell me
Yeah,
more.
and I think it's like it appears more in the Sheik matchup out of all of them. Well,
Okay.
especially it happens like all of them, but especially in the Sheik matchup, because I just like run over Sheiks and just win.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a problem like stemming from that issue that I just like run over people and then kind of just like kill them in 3 hits and be happy with myself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I still like get free openings, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't really see why that happens. So I guess we're seeing Fox Sheik, so I'll send you the games real quick.
Okay. Yeah,
I
I'll
feel
just
like
I'll just need to see
overall,
something to talk about it. It's hard
yeah,
to just
I feel like
really.
I'm overall like really good at this matchup,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I don't know, like I give stuff for free most of the time, but I'm not sure why.
Okay. Pulling it up right now.
Okay, yeah, I actually just played those games like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, gonna screen share you. Okay. It's working.
Yeah, working pretty well.
Okay, cool. Alright, so let's see. Okay, wow, that was nice. Nice.
Yeah, Yoshi's game I kind of just like explode them because I just like close space and just win the mix-up each time.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wow.
I feel like in Dreamland, I just like crumble most of the time, unless I
Okay.
get like the first stock. Because most of our sets are like,
Okay, yeah,
if
dude, these are some crazy stocks you're doing right here.
yeah, it's like our first the set literal revolves around who gets the first stock. So if I
Mm-hmm.
just get a first stock, I just farm them, which has been like the past
I
3 years.
it looks like this is a habit though, and I don't think this is that good. Like you go to top plat and then you short hop off and go through right here. I
Okay.
don't think that's that good. I think you can just kind of chill on the platform and like light shield or something during the invincibility.
Okay.
It's just a little bit safer. But yeah, you're basically just like moving around really fast, looking for drills into or up airs into like the combo, and then hitting like stupid hard, which is pretty much
Yeah.
correct. That was kind of a bad landing.
Yeah, I just ever since I came back from like America last time, I just became a crack monster with like nuts punch game.
Yeah, no, it's looking kind of crazy.
I kind of like one day just something clicked on me and then I started like moving extra fast.
I see. Yeah, because you were always pretty fast, but now you're kind of like crazy.
Yeah, feel like my decision making is like to my brain, so
Single
kind
hit
of works
drill.
out.
Wow. Dude, I'd be so angry if I was playing Sheik against you. I'd be like, "That's the dude. He just runs around and then I'm dead. What is this?"
Oh, that didn't hit. It's bad. Oh, okay, I was lazy.
Okay, yeah, super lazy.
Yeah, that's also a problem with me. That's like more of a mental thing I do here. That just
Mm-hmm.
like I can just win without trying. So I just like lay back myself whenever I'm like 3 stocks up
Yeah,
for like
you
a
get
stock.
lazy when you're up.
Yeah,
I see.
I'm like a huge slacker whenever I'm up. Like I never like keep the gas on.
No, I think it's hard to. And yeah, so far the only thing I can even say about that game is that like when he is in invincibility, you just need to like stop moving so much because you're kind of just jumping around. Sometimes you just move and it's like it's not really a defensive action and it's not an aggressive action. You just kind of like move and then
Okay.
that's kind of like the only time he really has a chance to hit you. And it seems to be like sort of in between neutral interactions where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna short hop off and set up here, and then I'll play neutral out of that spot, you know. And sometimes it seems like you can like miss that like that initial movement to get set up is already like a little dangerous, and like Jmook would just like randomly kill you for that, you know.
Okay.
So I think just like when he's invincible or when you're in a spot you don't really like, just be a little bit more careful. Like to get to your setup position, but then pretty much everything once you already got there was like great.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see. Next game.
Yeah, I feel like the longer stages I just kind of like suck. It's like Yoshi's, I just like close space, go 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 go. Well, this one's like kind of hard.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like, when Sheik is far enough away. Well, okay, so like basically, like if FD was the size of Yoshi's with no platforms, you would just murder Sheik, obviously, right?
Yeah.
When Sheik is further away than like Yoshi's size, you can just laser. And then as soon as she gets close enough, then you're basically playing on Yoshi's.
Okay.
So like a lot of times in situations like this, it's like, okay, maybe get to here, and then instead of like immediately doing this crazy like jump in to start off, you can kind of just run into here and laser again, and then just dash dance for a second and laser. And if Sheik decides to come in, then you decide to do a little dash dance into this full hop mix up, whatever. But like you're basically approaching from just way too far away here.
Okay.
And you're trying to like Sheik should never get to run away. Like when you're here and this happens and you're like, come here, Sheik, come here, and then Sheik runs away. This like I think dashing in here was good, but you're just getting a little too aerial. Like Sheik's main struggle at low percent is getting like CC'd and stuff like that. Like a lot of her moves are kind of bad. But if you jump, then she can catch you with like back air grab and stuff like that, or forward air grab. So if you're trying to get in at like a percent that's like a little bit lower like this, like you're at low percent is what I mean, then like just staying low to the ground, like running crouch here would have been like super OP. And then then you can confirm that Sheik is in the air and then attack from there rather than trying to like jump up like with her. You only really want to jump against Sheik when like you've already established that she's sort of like on the ground and then you're coming up and then down on her. If she's like jumping her and stuff like that, you don't really want to jump also.
Okay.
Okay. Classic Riken punish.
Yeah.
Dude, who is messaging me? Okay, sorry.
That's a lot of taps.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I definitely feel like, like there's definitely like some forcing going on here, or like a lack of respect for the character, or your opponent. It's kind of like it's fine to go for like this pressure or whatever, but like you ended the pressure completely like not invincible and in the corner, and it's just like you got to be a little bit more aware of like your stage positioning, that you're not like setting yourself up to get like gimped the second. Even just coming over here as your invincibility ends is a little scary in general. A lot of times you'll end up getting something like up tilt grab back thrown at 0, which can just lead to like a death.
Okay.
I think that's another thing, is just be aware like when your invincibility ends, you don't want to be in the corner, or like you don't want to be like in a gimpable spot. Because if your invincibility ends, even if you whiff a grab or whatever, if you're in center, it's kind of hard for Sheik to get like a true zero death. But if you're near the edge and you can get grabbed here or something, it can end really badly.
Okay.
And you get comboed out of it, but it doesn't look like you die. Oh, you might die. Nope. Classic Riken combo. like zero perfect 080 and then lets you live.
Yeah.
That was a sick up air by him though.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, be careful fighting Sheik in the corner. It doesn't really benefit you that much because a lot of times you get like situations where you have to shine like this and it doesn't get you anything. Like if Sheik is in the corner on like Yoshi's, it's kind of like, well, it's small enough, whatever, I can just pressure. But here it's like if she's in the corner, you can just like chill and like laser and get damage. Like she has to leave the corner to like fight you. She doesn't get to like stay in the corner and force a battle. Okay.
Wow.
So, one way I think people describe sort of what you're missing right now, especially like in this matchup at least, is like the idea of like hot and cold. You probably heard people talk about that before. And
I've actually never heard of that.
Okay. And it's basically the idea of like sometimes you're playing like very aggro and it's not necessarily even very like I need to get a hit right now, but it's very like we're interacting right now. Like there's gonna be like a bunch of like interaction, you're pressing a lot of buttons, like there's a lot of like back and forth, things can happen, you know? Mm-hmm. That's more like hot. And then like cold is like playing a little bit more like stalematey and like a little bit more like observationally and like you're kind of like defending and looking at what your opponent does and stuff like that. And you're definitely missing like the whole cold part in this matchup. So you just come in hot and it's like pretty scary, honestly. Like as a Sheik, it's pretty scary to play against a Fox who's just on like perma hot, where you're just kind of like constantly like there's no gaps in like the interactions. Like there's never like a moment to breathe ever.
Okay.
Where it's like here is so you'll see like every time there's like any sort of neutral interaction, there will be like either he's hitting you or you're hitting him within like literally like half a second. Probably like less than a second every time. So it's like okay, let's wait until it like kind of resets. Okay, let's say like right here. Like, do you dash back out of this or like chill or whatever? It's like no, you're like hit him and then he hits you, and it's like okay, once again understand. Okay, how about right now? It's like well, I mean, you kind of just go for it immediately. Okay, hitting, fighting, and then it's like you get the kill. Watch, he's gonna come back, and you're gonna as soon as invincibility runs out, you are immediately gonna like try to hit him, and then you just immediately gonna see like what happens. Like okay, oh you didn't. You actually went cold mode for 0.2 seconds. Okay, so you almost did the thing here where you're like, see how you like you could have gone in, but you like separated right here.
Yeah.
Like you need to basically balance out the energy of like moving in and moving back, because if you're moving in too much, then like basically they can just like throw out a move and it'll hit you half the time, and then it kind of becomes like who's punishing harder, because like you just throw out a move and they know you're going to throw out a move and they just either go for like a CC or they throw out a move, and it's kind of, you know, anybody's guess who's going to win the neutral situation. Okay. And so what you want to do, it's the easiest way to like describe like the hot and cold thing, like what type of balance you would want here. You kind of have to do it based on like what you can sort of feel in like the flow of the match, like what they're sort of expecting. And I try to play like a little safer until I get like a sense from them that like they get that I'm playing safe, and they're like, okay, you're playing safe, and they start getting a little bit more comfortable like taking space and like moving in. And then like in those situations, then I'm going to be a lot more likely to start turning it up again and like going in. And then, like, I'll hit them a few times, and then they're kind of like, okay, okay, come on, keep coming in. Like, let's see what happens now. And then you start playing cold again. And it'll
Okay.
kind of like, the idea is to like never like let them be prepared for for like the type of play you're gonna make. And so when they expect there to be a lot of interactions, you're not gonna let there be interactions. And when they start to get comfortable with a slower game, then you're in their face. And you can kind of like, you can do all kinds of ways to mix it up depending on how your opponent thinks. Like you can be like hot, 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 and then they're like okay, and then you're like cold, 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 and then they're like okay, now I'm expecting cold, and you're like hot, and then they're like aha, and you're like now cold, and then hot, and then cold again, because they're now expecting you to like repeat them for a little bit, you know. And so it's like you can kind of just play around and mix those up. But right now, you're kind of like 1 out of 25 times I will retreat, and the other 24 times I will attack. And it just like I said, it creates a situation where it's gonna end up as like punish versus punish, because it's gonna make you like kind of predictable.
Okay.
And yeah, like maybe versus like Riken or something, you might end up playing somebody whose habits you know really well, and you know you can just avoid this F tilt and come in every time. But it's not always going to be the case. And I think it ends up making your Fox feel kind of, like I said, it's sort of predictable. You can also end up against someone else who's like, like by not mixing it up enough, you can end up against people who have sort of like a playstyle advantage. Like maybe somebody, they play against a Fox that's often trying to run them over, and so they're kind of just used to that, and then they show up against you in tournament and you're happening to play in the exact way that they're used to practicing against. They're gonna be like really comfortable, you know.
Okay.
And so it's like when you're sort of using both and you're kind of looking for what people seem to be comfortable with and then kind of using the opposite, I think it gives you like a wider ability to like adapt to different play styles and like your opponent's adaptations and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, so like look at this. This is like a perfect example actually. Is when you come back, Riken's obviously running away because you're invincible. But now, once he's out of the invincibility, like now is when like true neutral is gonna kind of start. And if you look at it from Riken's end, he's not trying to open you up. Like he doesn't have to come up with a single idea to open you up. And it's because you are not playing like a slow, less interaction heavy game ever. So he knows here that you are gonna run at him and be like, yo, moves, hitboxes, hitboxes. And so what he's thinking is he just needs to counter hit you. So he just needs to like avoid your move and grab you, or he needs to shield grab, or he needs to like slip by your move and then hit you. He's not like worrying like, how am I gonna get the boost grab out of, you know, Chape's dash dance? He's not thinking that. He's just thinking like, survive and hit Fox when he tries to hit you. So yeah, just watch from his perspective for a bit. So he's like needling, and then it's like, is he even trying to like pressure off of this? No, he's just like getting out of here because he thinks you're just gonna like dive in at him, and so he's trying to defend from you like rushing in, and then he's like, okay, he's here, and is he like trying to get you for doing this? No, he's just like back air, like oh, now I get away from the approach again, and then I try to hit you, and then let's see. Oh. And so look, once again, look at this. So you break. And then is Riken like trying to get in on you here? No, Riken just moves back, and he's looking for how to stop your approach. And then, okay, and then he hits the combo. And then he's trying to stop you from coming in. And the thing is, you hit so hard when you actually get in that it's like, that's kind of melee. Is like if you get in and you hit really hard, and it doesn't really matter how smart you were about it. You know, it's kind of like if you can do that, then you can do it. So yeah, I basically think that the issue here is that like you let him get into a rhythm of like he moves back and kind of throws something out and like checks to see if you run into it. and then he just kind of gets to repeat that over and over because you've already decided that like you're gonna just keep going in over and over. But sometimes you need that balance. It's kind of like a push and pull type thing, and you sort of need to like let them push back on you a little bit, or else they're just too used to being on the back foot. Like you have to be like, no, come on, you can attack me, come on, like, oh, look at me, I'm a sitting duck. And then they go, okay, maybe I can approach. And then like when they do that, then they're a lot less ready to like move back and throw out a move, because that's what they're doing when they're thinking, here he comes. But if they're thinking, how do I like catch his dash back, they're thinking like wave dash in, forward tilt. They're thinking like, backflip towards you and back air. They're thinking like more aggressive motions. And so you can sort of like play around their expectations.
Okay.
And I think on FD it's a little weird because there aren't really like good stalemates quite as much. So like on FD it gets a little bit messier. I think you can just play a little safer. Like I said, the big stage. So just take a few moments, and you don't need to like laser, like some people go and they spam lasers until the Sheik like attacks them. But what you can do is you can go away and spam lasers, and just wait for the Sheik to be like, okay, you better stop those lasers, and then maybe you dash dance for a second, and then you can decide whether I'm gonna go in, and then they move back, and then you go, just kidding, more lasers. Or you're like, I'm gonna go in, and then they're like, okay, and then you go in, you go in after that, you play the mix-up. But it's not like playing the mix-up and playing the mix-up when they're super duper expecting it are just completely different. Because your chances of winning are a lot higher when they weren't able to kind of like narrow down your options. Like if they don't know, like, is he gonna retreat to the platform? Is he gonna play really safe with lasers? Or is he just gonna be crushing me? It's really different than if they're like, he's gonna try to crush me and I just need to stop that,
Okay. I'm just like running into him.
And the thing is, like, it's working, so it's kind of hard to like. What I would say is because I think you're so good at like this like going in style, and it's especially against Sheik. Like I think it's very strong against Sheik. What I would say is like kind of do this like press in thing until you have like this distinct feeling that like maybe 2 or 3 times in a row you try to hit him and you can't, because then clearly it's like, so like right here, it's like you start out, you miss 0 times, so you're just hitting him, and it's like, yeah, that's totally fine. Like this is all good because you didn't miss it all. What you want to watch out for are the ones where like you throw out a move and he moves out of the way and it misses, and then you attack again and he moves out of the way and your move misses, and then you might be like, okay, what if I'm gonna attack again? Just kidding, and you kind of back off for a second, because then he's like he's really getting into this groove that like you go in and he gets out of the way and you miss, because then eventually he'll move out of the way and you'll miss, and then he'll get his punish. And so when it starts happening that you feel like you're kind of chasing, like if he's standing there and he's just like cowering and you hit him, that's good. You want him to cower. But if he starts making you chase him, you don't really want to like let him get what he wants,
Okay.
So we'll see if we'll see if it comes up. It's like, yeah, I think it's totally fine to like try to push the stuff like that. Like if you're just, like if you just go in and you hit him, it's like, yeah, like what's the problem with that? No problem at all. It's just good. And yeah, you crazy crack, dude. Kind of ridiculous.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, you're just ridiculous now. Sheesh. Okay, yeah. So see, the flow changes for a second right here.
Yeah, it happened right there.
Yeah, you can feel the shift where like you try to hit him and he moves, and you're like, and you try to hit him and he moves, and then you try to hit him and he hits you, and now like this is maybe a sign that like now what you want to do is act like you're gonna go in again, but then don't. Like
Okay.
chill for a sec before you go into like interactable range again. Like just go to the platform, chill for a sec, wait. Like it's like it's almost like a social interaction. Like you want to wait until it's awkward. Like they're like, "How's your day?" And you're like, "Well, it's going." And you just stare them down. You just stare them down in the middle of your sentence. And like when you feel it's finally like weird, and they're like, okay, wait, this is definitely weird now. Then you're like, oh yeah, and then you go into it. It's like because it's like
Okay.
you don't want a smooth interaction in Melee. You want them to feel very awkward and confused, you know. So like that's kind of the feeling that like you give them this little expectation that the conversation is kind of going this way, and then you just sort of take that away from them, and then the moment where they kind of realize like, okay, wait, he's not coming in again. Now he's playing kind of safe. That's the moment when you can turn the aggression back on. You just kind of have to feel the flow of like he's no longer prepared to really like run away.
Okay.
But you felt it, like
Oh.
that feeling where he's like, see
Yeah.
right here, look at him, he's jumping across the stage and naring you. When he's doing this, you know, do whatever you want. Like you can do multiple things while he's doing this. You could play super cold and just dip and let him get kind of annoyed and maybe chase you, which can help. But if he's being, you know, if he's trying to go for you and you're better at like the go for each other game, then like go for it. Like just fight it out here. It's fine because he's clearly swinging. You know, like the jab, you see the jab and you go in because he's not just in his like, oh, I'll run away. You know, I'll run away and let him run into my move zone.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he's just throwing out a bunch of stuff right now. He's not even trying to like, oh, but it started right here. It's when he's like he walls and then he does another wall and you miss again and then he gets out of the way, and the fact that like it has now been like 2 times where like he tries to avoid you. So it's like here he tries to stop you but you miss, and then he does this, and then you go here and you miss again, and he moves again. The third time where you're now like if you move towards him immediately now, it's so like he's gonna be so ready. You know, like
Okay.
you've fully conditioned him. You're gonna come in, he misses. You're gonna go in again, you miss again. And now this time moving in here, he's like 10 billion% gonna like throw stuff out right here. Like every player in the world who's decent will throw stuff out here because it was clear like your intention was to get in, and that's when he hits you, and then that's when he takes the stock.
Okay. So and that's why rather than just like going in and just should like wait dash to the other side and then just wait for him to do something dumb and just kill him,
Yeah, yeah, no,
right?
yeah. You can wave dash back, like so, like yeah, like right here. Let's see. Oh wait, is it this previous stock? I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
it's right here. It's like 3 interactions after this.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Oh, here it is.
Okay. Yeah, you like try to hit. Yeah, you go in and then wall, wall. Yeah, so right here, what you could do is maybe you just go to the side plat, you know, and then
Mhm.
you short hop off, and then you double jump to top plat because you short hop off. They think you're coming in. They wave dash back, double jump to top plat, and then maybe you know short hop back to side plat, and then you come down. And then it's like okay, it kind of like resets the momentum, and then you can maybe go in again. But like because you were like it was too obvious how many times you were going in over and over, and now you like bring it back, and like you said, you could even just do wave dash this way and then dash in, dash back, dash in, attack. You know, like that's fine
Yeah.
too, like what you were thinking. So it's just like anything except for like immediately like it's kind of like filling the gap, you know? Like he creates a gap and you fill it. He creates the gap and you fill it. Oh, or that Magi GIF.
What
Like the
was
one I posted where it's like you're not gonna step across this line. Like I'm stepping. You know that one? Did you see that?
it? No.
Okay, it's just Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam, and I was saying it was Magi Ginger because Bugs Bunny goes, "I dare you to step across this line." He's like, I'm a stepping." He's like, "I dare you to step across this line," and he just steps across line after line after line until he falls off the cliff. And it's like that's, and I was saying that's Magi Ginger because Ginger just leads her up to the platforms over and over and over, and then she gets hit because she just wants to keep stepping across the lines he tells her not to step across. And so that's the same thing. I can show you the video later, but that's the exact concept here. Where when he's like, "Don't step across this line," and you do it, you miss, and he does it again, you step across, and eventually it's gonna get too easy to predict.
Okay.
And so you just need to mix it up slightly to like let the moment pass, where because like he's kind of building up to this big read where you go in too many times in a row and he hits you. And so you're like building and it's building and it's building, and he's like, "Oh, now's the time I'm gonna punish," and then you don't give it to him, and he's like, "What? No, no punish," and then you're like going back in. You're like, "Okay, now we're building up again from scratch." He's like, "Oh, you know, that's like the feeling you want."
Okay, it's all making a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay.
That's on my dash.
Dude.
Uh,
I do not want to play you with my Sheik. It does not look fun. It looks very annoying. You're like, ha ha ha. You just looks like so calm, like calmly destroying her over and over. Let's see.
it's funny because whenever I go to America, I feel like I'm not like as hot as in this games. Like most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because you're just really comfortable.
Yeah, that's like really weird because whenever I'm just like playing really cold, like for example, like when I played Fizzwiggle, I just like didn't go in a single time. I feel like
Hmm.
I just like waited the whole time and then
Yeah.
just SD 10 times and I won.
That's just like a mental game thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
tournament play is like hard. Okay, so let's see. This whole thing is kind of one big scramble. Right here, it seems like you're mostly just using like worse openings.
Yeah.
Like you're not really like going for like the drills here like you were before. You're going for kind of like the up airs at like 0. You're like kind of nair barren at like low percents, and then you eventually just kind of get caught. But if you had been using like your good combo starter moves, you probably would have just like you would have probably gotten a combo already.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. You get hit. Yeah, just
Yeah, I
like
can
chill
see
out.
him being ready, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, look, you go in and he's like, whoop, oh, here he comes again. Oh, now I'm ready. And then it's like, yeah, that's what you got to watch out for.
He was ready that one time.
Mm-hmm. So you never want him to be ready. That's like the goal is like, he should never know just when you're going to approach. It should be like, whenever he's really ready for you to approach, you just sort of catch on and don't do it. And then, you know, when he's not ready for you to approach, that's when you really press it. Approach. And he's like, fine, now I'm ready. And then you stop doing it. And that's just like a sort of like neutral game awareness and like awareness of like how many times you've gone after them in a row. And that's why I say like be aware of it's more the feeling of chasing, because like when you like that's like an easy metric. Because when you feel like you've been chasing them, that's usually the feeling that they've like been creating this vacuum and you've been sort of like filling the space by attacking into it.
Yep. Oh, that would have been cool.
But overall, I think like your plan and your combos and stuff against this character, like overall, like seem really good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think your move choice is a little like sometimes you end up in like a spot like that where like you're like here and you're like you see this spot and you're like, well, there's not like the fact that you go in again here is just kind of like disrespectful. Because you don't even have like a setup. You don't really know what you want. You're not trying to counter anything that he does. You're just like, he's close to me. Nair's pretty good. And I think that like, while that can work, that's not the most consistent way to win. You know, like you want to win off of outplays more than like execution tests. And not necessarily execution tests. You want to win off of outplays more than winning off of mix-ups. Because every time you win off of a mix-up, that's like a mix-up you could have lost. Like you want to win off of getting someone in like a position where you felt like you know when you do dash in and you bait the forward tilt and then you dash out and then you dash in and you hit them for like forward tilting, you whiff punish the forward tilt. That's really like the type of opening you want. Or you read the wave dash with like a drill or whatever. Going for these nairs, it's like it'll work a lot. Like it's kind of hard for Sheik to counter, but it's not like the highest level possible way to deal with Sheik. And it kind of like puts it on them, you know, to like do something about it. And it's like, you don't really want it to be on them. You kind of want it to be on you. And a lot of times in tournament, like, nairing like that will probably have a positive benefit. But you're kind of gambling on, like, the Sheik not being good enough.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, I think one thing they could help you a lot is just sort of playing kind of campy against Sheik.
Okay.
I think like up down lasers are really good. Up down lasers, you just full
I
hop
don't-
double laser, drop through laser. Those are really really strong.
Yeah.
Just side plat in general, like she can't really approach top or side plat like at all if you're just kind of chilling there. Because it's not about like it's not really that I want you to like play super passive because I think like the way you play like high pressure is really good. It's just that like whenever you go kind of cold mode, like whenever you go sort of like retreat or whatever, it's a very like you're like cracked at like retreating. Like there's like you're clearly like retreating at like this high intensity where you're like it's kind of like when you're attacking, the pace is like you know, and then like you retreat and you're gonna like slow the game down and it's like you're like retreating feels kind of fast too. And I think that like it will help you to be able to sort of play around with the pace that you play the game. Like that's sort of like the level that you're at where I think like playing at different rhythms can really help. Because I feel like just watching this, that is like the current danger of your Fox is that for you is that you're like a little bit rhythmic where you kind of get into a zone of like I do like but up and every time I do the but I just hit them and I win, you know. And like I think that is like it's really really strong for dominating players below you because a lot of times they won't really adapt to like a similar rhythm that keeps baiting them. And I think that's just sort of natural based on like your region and stuff like that. And I think like not getting sucked into the fact that like if I do my rhythm it'll be successful and trying to think of it more like if I know what my rhythm is, they can probably figure out what my rhythm is, and they will probably hit me for it.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's really difficult because you're the best in your region. Like it's very difficult to sort of like imagine how they will do that, how they'll like adapt to your rhythm or whatever. Like I definitely feel that. But yeah, basically that's the best way I can think of maybe describing it in a way to like go about it from just your end is that like if you feel like you're kind of rhythming on them, then, you know, theoretically they could also feel that and then get you.
Okay.
So just trying to like just change up the rhythm a little bit. Like you have a lot of these situations where the interactions are like he's going to come back. There's no way that the interaction takes more than like 3 seconds to resolve into something, and then he hit you during invincibility. I'm gonna ignore this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait until the next stock. Okay, classic.
The cutscene.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Okay, so it's like now we're broken up right here. Like, there's not gonna be a moment where you're like kind of chilling. Like I just already know. It's like bam, 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 bam. Like you're going in, you're hitting. He's doing the thing where he knows you're coming in, but he can't seem to stop you anyway because you're too fast. But like, look at this interaction. It's like, dude, like, calm down. Like, You don't need to be interacting with him every second he's on the screen. And look, this is that multi-chase thing. This is how he gets you again. Look, chase, 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 and then he hits you for coming in again.
Hmm.
Doesn't do anything, but he
Yeah,
did
I
he did
mean,
read you.
yep.
I think of it as kind of like basically like by creating the rhythm you're kind of like setting him up to do something, and you just don't, and I was sort of getting at this earlier, basically you're setting him up for like a punchline, and then you just don't want to let the expectation like land. um so yeah, no, that's basically it on that. I think is that like you're hitting fine and you're using fine moves, but you get a little bit like I can see this visual perfectly in my head describing this concept, but it's hard to like um
Does it?
it's hard to like perfectly describe it.
Yeah.
um it's kind of like I don't know, it's not the perfect analogy, but maybe it's like there's like cards, like you're playing poker or something, and like let's say you knew the order of the deck, and like
Mhm.
you know that there's like a bad card coming up, and you just like don't take that card, and then you get through to like the next card, which is good. It's like not a perfect analogy, but it's kind of the idea that like the game is always moving and your opponent is always changing their positions. And so you, because you're playing kind of rhythmically, end up in a spot where they're like totally ready to counter your instant decision here. And if you just like wait 0.25 seconds for the moment of expectation to pass, you're like home free. There's just that
Okay.
one moment where they're like, he's coming in right now, because they're super ready for it. And if you, doesn't matter what you do, but as long as you don't go in right there, the moment passes, and they no longer have this feeling that like they have a lock on your rhythm or like a hard read on you. That's the best description I can give for it, I think.
Okay, I can definitely see it.
Okay.
I just got like 10 flashbacks from the set I lost in meds. I was like, oh, makes sense now.
The what? What'd you say?
I just got like 10 flashbacks from my set with meds and Polish, and everything makes sense now. Oh
I
my god.
see. Okay, good. Oh wait, you might have watched this one.
I think it's the same ones, just then.
Yeah. Oh, you think it's a different one?
No, I think it's the same one.
4, 5, 6. Okay. I think there's one more of them. I think it's Dreamland, maybe?
Might be FOD, I think.
FOD. Yes, it is FOD. Okay. But yeah, it's interesting because, like, a lot of times I have lessons with, like, lower level players, and it's, like, so nice to just be like, after the first up air, more up airs, you know? And I'm just like, yeah, like, that's 100% like facts. Like, it's really easy when stuff is so, like, concrete. But then as you start reaching the higher level and it starts being about more like, don't let your rhythm get too predictable, you know, stuff gets a little harder to like explain. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's all coming through. Okay. Oof. Okay, this is so good. 99% of Fox players would not do this. After this, immediately going to the ground and fast falling here is so good. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's just so much fun with Amida that I just
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
like
I see. No, this is just
yeah.
so correct to do that. My space button got stuck down. I was like, oh no.
I actually think I do this really well with just Puff. Actually, like
Do like the
resetting
thing where
rhythms.
the resetting the rhythm. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, because I
yeah. A
do the
lot of
laser,
times,
I dash, and then I just wait, and then laser, and then I dash again, and then I just hit him.
no, exactly. And so, yeah, you definitely already understand the concept. It seems like it's versus Sheik. It might be more of like an issue.
Uh, I feel like this is a matchup that comes up the most
Mm-hmm.
for me, but I feel like it happens in all of them,
Okay.
and this one I'm like the most like obvious with it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Marth.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like you don't even need to do anything. Just step back for a split second. Because I think what a lot of people do when this happens is like they're like, oh, I've been attacking too much. I need to play like really, I need to not like when people try to execute what I'm telling you to do, they'll like attack 3 times and then they'll just run to the platform and they kind of like don't have any ideas. Like they're like, oh, I went to the platform. They're like, okay, good. I'm playing cold. That's good. That's good. And then they're like, I mean, I guess I should play hot again now. And they just go in and they play hot or whatever. And it's like, that's it's okay, but it's kind of like you want to just make sure to keep playing the game the whole time, Like, yeah, you're going to the plat, but like you're still in that like kind of mixed up like we could play mode, they could run at you and try to hit you and stuff like that. So it's like you gotta you need to like retreat and play the platform game, but without getting like overly passive or like too. And I think you do a good job of that. Like,
Yeah.
you don't really like. It's like you almost have the opposite problem where you're like too engaged.
Yeah.
You're like too engaged. Like, let's have some fun. Let's play. Let's play. Let's play. And people are like, he wants to play, doesn't he? I get a sense he wants to play. It's like trying to read if the dog wants to fetch the ball. It's like I think he does.
I'm just a dog.
You definitely play like you're like a happy puppy. I'm not gonna lie. Like your fox is just like you're running around like yeah, yeah. You know who it reminds me of? Connor. Connor the kid. His fox. It's kind of like a better Connor.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen one of their sets.
Mm.
I've definitely heard the name.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just basically imagine kind of like a you. Like the way he plays. It's kind of similar.
I thought I was gonna yoink it.
What's just happening? Yeah, like this couldn't be any more obvious, right? Where he's like, he's here,
like
and then you're like, I'm moving forward, and it's like, wow, is Chape gonna go back to this side plat? Like, no, never. Like, you're definitely coming down on him, and he knows it, and he just sets up for it.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like in the Ditto, this also happens to me, but like on the other side, because I feel like I don't go in.
Hmm.
But I just close space and just like let them do something dumb and I just kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But I might just be wrong. That's just a hunch.
Yeah, I mean, the Ditto is just weird. The Ditto is just like a super weird matchup. A lot of the rules of neutral kind of go out the window because I feel like so much of the Ditto is just like full hopping and like playing it safe. And like you can't really pressure the other fox in any like actual way because they're just as fast as you and like Shrine Out of Shield is so broken and stuff. So I feel like the Ditto is really just like a defense fest. Honestly, I don't think there's a lot of room for like aggression in the Ditto. I thought of a funny analogy. You've seen the movie Home Alone?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you're like a burglar and you're like really good at breaking into people's houses, but then like you break in so many times that they just turn into like the Home Alone kid and they're like beyond ready for you to approach, and it's like that is the one time where you probably shouldn't approach. And you just kind of chill out until they take down all their nasty Home Alone tricks, and then you go in again.
That's so dumb that it makes sense too.
Okay, so we're through all of these VODs. What would you like to go over for the last 15 minutes?
Hmm. I feel like I want to watch some like probably a Ditto, but I'm not sure.
You said you want to watch a Ditto?
Yeah, let's just find some Dittos here.
Okay.
Give me a sec. Okay, so this set is from the other day.
Okay.
I won 3-1, but I dropped the game on FD because that's teach them.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't seem to like chain grab with C jump nowadays.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're on Z Jump.
Yeah, that's why I got so much more cracked.
I don't want to believe that.
I actually got like hyper fast just because of Z jump.
You really feel like it made you faster?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
like especially in the air.
Hmm. I
This game
see.
theory, but whatever. Doesn't matter the order of the games.
Okay, yeah, I just clicked the first one.
Yeah.
Boo. I'm already against this. You know, I think we've talked about the Ditto before. You know my stance on the Ditto is that, like,
Yeah, the full hops.
pretty much any time you're gonna interact, like, you make an agreement, you're like, up, like, 1:30, right? And they're like, I'll be there at 1:30. You're like, 1:30? And they're like, 1:30, I'll be there short hopping. Don't worry. I'll be there short hopping all day, 1:30 p.m. And they show up, and you're full hopping. And then they're short hopping, and then you win. That is like the entire matchup. It's just like, don't worry, I'll be there, and then you full hop. Because if like there's this moment right here where you're like, aha, like the drill interaction, and it's like, if you just full hop here and he does this drill, you get a free opening. Same right here. Look at this. Whenever you feel like an interaction is about to happen, like this, you're here, right? You feel this interaction happening because he's running in. This is where you full hop. But when you try to do this, you're just playing out like. You're literally playing out like a dice roll. Like, you're just, like, mashing buttons, and they're mashing buttons, and you're like, Melee's fun. And it's like, you don't want Melee to be fun. You want Melee to be miserable for the other guy. Like, you don't want him to be able to just run in and drill, and who knows, man, maybe we'll see if I'm faster today. It's like, no, you don't want that. Like, you want them to run in and do their thing, and then just get blown up because you full hop.
Okay.
So anytime there's, like, an interaction that you're pretty sure is going to happen, full hop. Rolling here is fine too, because you didn't want to get trapped up here in the corner. The roll here was good, actually.
Yeah.
But look, they did this. They did it. They did it to you, where you were like, you're dashing and you're looking and you're like, now seems like attack time. And then you're like, if they running shine right here, this drill will be so brilliant. And it's like, and if they short hop, we'll both short hop and it'll be fine. But look, they full hop. And it's the exact same interaction time, but the full hop always, always, always wins. And right here, too, you try to shine, and they full hop. Guess who wins the interaction? Them. Okay, nothing really you can do there. Just under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know how to outplay in this matchup.
You full hop.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like... it's so funny. Like, I was like one of the best dittoers in the world as Fox. Like, I was really good at the ditto relative to like my skill level. Like, I had a good record on everybody except for Leffen, and I was 0-1 and I almost won that. So it's like, what is my plan? What was my secret? It's like, well, I gimp every stock and I full hop. It's like, that's the entire plan. It's like, you full hop to win the interaction, and then you throw them off stage and you edge guard. The whole matchup.
Okay.
And people just, for some reason, they can't grasp the full hop thing. I've told so many people about the full hop thing, and they just doesn't quite line up. I don't really fully get it. See, and here was good. Look, you did this full hop.
Yeah.
You did the full hop, and look it. The worst thing that can happen is nothing. It's the worst thing that can happen. Okay, good nair into the corner. Good, dead. Oh no, come on. Gotta run. You gotta run down there.
Yeah.
Okay, dead. Right. Yep. Nice. I like that I can just have full faith that when you get this grab right here, that you will 100% up throw and then tech chase up smash. Like, I already just know. I'm just like, oh, he's gonna hit the up smash. That's fine. Like, next stock.
Yeah, that's also the thing I've been grinding, just like tech chasing.
Nice.
Because whenever I just feel lost, I just like, okay, I just like, let's get into a punish game.
It's a really good idea. Okay, kind of just trapped in a negative situation. Okay, good throw him off. Okay, kind of a bad run off up air. Okay, punish, punish. Kill again. Nice. I like it. Okay.
So bad at that waveland.
Yeah, that's a killer. I hate that, like, so often in tournament, like, Spacey Dittos comes down to who misses the first platform waveland. Like, you just sort of play neutral and one person eventually misses it and they air dodge and they get punished to death. Okay. So you guys have just kind of been in like a scramble that you've been winning for like the last minute straight.
Yeah.
Like it seems like when you got the stock lead, they just kind of committed to like Russian, and then you just sort of been winning all the mixes off of it. Like there hasn't even been like a moment of like neutral. Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. The full hop. Dude, look at this. I'm not kidding you. Full hop, look, dodge the interaction, you get the punish. It just literally avoids the interaction, and then you get to punish if they're wrong. You gotta go to ledge more, edge guarding Fox.
Yeah.
Like go to ledge like
Yeah.
immediately, like right here or something. You'll get a lot more back air kills, and if they side beyond, you can just ledge dash on and punish.
Yeah. I definitely don't hold ledge as much.
Yeah, no. Going to like the rule in the Fox Ditto is like it like you hit them off stage, and unless you have like I don't know, sometimes you throw them off and you have a really good read that they're maybe gonna like double jump down air or something, so you get like up tilt shine or something like that. But like the majority of the time, if they go off stage and you don't have like some like oh I'll catch them out of their double jump like they're right here type read, you just want to grab edge immediately. That's kind of like been a standard for it's like we don't know 100% what the perfect Fox edge guard is yet, but what I can say is like among like Leffen and Cody and everybody really good, like going to ledge immediately has been the meta for like a few years now.
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend that. Okay. Yeah, I think the thing to keep in mind in the Fox Ditto is like you can't outplay them by like approaching aerialing.
Okay.
And
So
like
I a full hop.
and I think that's like a rough one for you because that's where you get a lot of your openings on other people is you're like, oh my cracked approaching aerials, like no one can stop them, like I'm a beast, like but then in the Fox Ditto is like he's too fast and he's too good defensively. Like your outplays in the Ditto are primarily going to be shine out of shield, dash dance grab, and full hop over. Those are like your big outplay tools in the matchup. Like they do a full hop drill or a full hop nair or something, you read the drift and you get a grab. Or they aerial you run up shield and they short hop drill and you shine out of shield and you get the outplay on that. Or you're going to get like full hop over and you hit them. The thing is like obviously you still have to do some short hops in neutral, like short hop drill and stuff like that. But those are more of like the assumption. Like the assumption is that like, you're probably gonna nair and dare like short hop nair and dare sometimes, and they're gonna short hop nair and dare sometimes, and it kind of just evens out because like that's just like it's the same character. Like you're gonna be drilling, they're gonna be drilling, whatever. So it's like sometimes you'll get like short hop drill and hit them, and sometimes they'll get it on you, and it doesn't really matter that much because it's kind of just like probability. It'll happen every now and then. But you get your big advantages with those other like dash dance grab, full hop, and shine out of shield.
Okay.
That's where you like get your main outplays in, and like and yeah, obviously this is like fine. The full hop would have worked just as well here, but you got the whiff punish, and so like sometimes you're gonna short hop drill. It's totally good.
I think I die here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's my goat. Okay. And yeah, like if you full hop, this is the worst thing that can happen. This is like your worst case when you full hop. Is oof, they nared me. Oof, oh man, rough times. The other thing is like okay, whenever you're in a situation like this, where you want to make sure that when you do your full hops in this matchup, they're dash full hops.
Okay.
If you do a non-dash full hop in this matchup, and it's not like that weird Kalindi backflip range, you need to like almost always full hop and then do like full hop, late double jump to top plat, like waveline down or whatever. And the reasoning is that like you just don't have as many mix-ups off of like the non-dash one, so their odds of like using their horizontal speed and their spacing to like outrange you or like just beat your vertical option is like way higher. So like a lot of times in a situation like this where you do this full hop, you don't want to reach for this because it's not out of a dash. So you don't have as many drift options. Like right here,
Okay.
if you do this full hop and you see that they have like they're right here, this is where you double jump waveland to top plat. Because you don't really
Okay.
have like a strong mix up, and it's not like a timing read. It was like you were even in neutral, you went for the full hop, they didn't. Because the thing with this full hop that's pretty good, right, is you do the full hop, and like if they just tried to hit you right here, they dash grab or something right here or up smash, then you just get the punish. But if you full hop and you don't have dash momentum, and you full hop and they aren't clearly already approaching underneath you, you'd never ever want to come down with this back air like this, because then they're gonna get like their outplay like on
From
you, like
that.
the dash dance on the full hop drift. Like dash dance grab or dash dance aerial on the full hop drift is like one of, the big punishes that we talk about, or like one of the big outplay tools.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, I do a lot of those like non-momentum full hops. It just like gets me into scraps. Like here.
Yeah, it's just not really what you want to be doing. Like those are just really bad.
Yeah.
They give way too much potential to outplay. But the thing is like they're only bad if you come all the way down. Like if you just jump, because it's like they
That's
can't really hit
fine.
you for the jump. They're gonna hit you coming down, so you jump, and they're like, "Ooh, that's such a juicy landing," and you just full hop and you double jump away, and they're like, "Oh." Like it kind of takes away the juiciness of it to just retreat to the platform. But yeah, like when he does that, you just hit him for it. Like the no momentum full hops in place are really iffy. They're good for the defense. You just don't want to come down. Like you don't want to like leave defensively on the full hop and then come down like I'm gonna get you with like coming down. It's like nah.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me a lot of when you hit a fox and they do double jump drill like coming back, and you're like,
Oh yeah, that's like
yeah,
classic.
yeah. And I get so annoyed. I'm sure like your entire country just spams that.
Dude, I get so many tournament wins from that.
Yeah,
I
me
made a
too,
career out of
honestly.
it.
Everybody spams it. And it's like, that's kind of the feeling, is like, you're in a bad spot, you put yourself in this spot, just play the defense and get back to neutral. It's fine, but they're like, I want to take my worst position and turn it into my best. That's what I'm going to do, because I'm the main character. Like, no, like... Yes, dude, now you're just spamming those full hops. But it's good to see. It's good to see, like, no, you don't want to do it. Oh, there's your Shrine of the Shield. That's the real outplays. This is where you, like, make the big difference here. Double Shine is not good against Fox. Don't do this.
Should I do Shine Bear?
Yes. Yeah, it's... This Shine is, like... It definitely has potential against other characters. Like Marth.
Sheik.
Sheik. Falco is like very iffy, mostly because a lot of times I think he can just like it depends on the height with Falco. A lot of times it's better against Falco to just get the single shine and get back to edge. And with Fox, it's like, bro, his recovery is like so like you really think that's gonna stop Fox's recovery?
Yeah.
He's nowhere. So it's like, yeah, no, going for the shine back air here, or even like honestly, there's like a possibility here that you could have gotten back air, like weak
I can
back
see
air,
it
strong
too.
back air, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I would say like weak, like back air, or shine back air are like, or depending on the situation, sometimes you can get an up air here. What Mango does sometimes with his Fox, maybe not in this exact spot, but he'll like he'll get an up air so that like this DI, like this up in DI, like right here, like survival DI on the back air, will send Fox kind of like up this way from the up air, because like you hit him with this side of the up air, so like they DI survival DI and they go kind of up right here, and sometimes you can get like up air, but the majority of the time I would say just back air or shine back air here. Double shine's kind of trash.
There you go.
And like I don't know, in a spot like this is like kind of an interesting spot. Right here, I'm always gonna full hop from here because like
Okay.
because otherwise you're just gonna play this interaction out, you know. And if you full hop and Fox does this full hop back air, it's the same thing. Like, oh, big punish, free punish. If they don't
Okay.
come for you, free escape.
Gotcha. I feel like, yeah, okay. I should be stalemating more with the full hops.
In the Ditto, yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible. Like stalemating with the dash back and the full hop in this matchup are the fundamentals of the matchup. And spamming shield. Shield is actually, I think, kind of OP in this matchup.
Uh,
Just because Fox really wants to drill, and you just shield the drill and shine at his shield every time.
should have waveland that one.
But yeah, the full hop, dash dance, okay. And yeah, this is like one of those opportunities where you do the full hop and you see that he does this, right? But if you do the full hop and he's not already doing this, like he's just chilling here or something, you want to retreat every time.
Okay.
So you just kind of jump and you're like, "Yo, free punish." If there's no free punish, we leave. We don't try to push it. And then right here, you completely lost access to your horizontal movement. Look at this: vertical, 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 and then you get hit. So it's like you just sort of like lost perspective on like the movement and stuff. So that was just like a little bit of a game plan drop at the end there.
Yeah, just like panic.
Yeah. Okay. What are your thoughts? Any other questions, or what's going on?
That was a lot to like get into. I definitely feel like it was really good.
Yeah, that was definitely like a packed full lesson.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like as packed as the Puff one, where you just like explain everything.
The Puff one was legendary though.
Yeah, that one was fucking.
Yeah, you just like, wait a minute, is this solved? You just go beta beta. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of solved.
Yeah, it has been solved to like that lesson. It's crazy. But I definitely feel like it's a lot to like unpack, and I'll definitely get good at it like in a week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nah,
I'll
you're
definitely
looking
see the
pretty
game.
nasty, man. I think you're definitely gonna make it to like the top
Yeah,
for sure.
I definitely feel like some of the stuff I'm just gonna get gapped because I've never seen it when I travel, because that always happens.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
also
feel
just,
like
start
yeah,
learning
you're
how
like
to do it.
yeah, like the way you play and stuff. It kind of reminds me of like a Sunsei type thing. But I feel like Sunsei had a lot of trouble like performing when he traveled, and like literally like your first time coming here, you beat like Spark and whoever at like Smash World Tour. I remember
Yeah, it's
that.
kind
So
of
it's like I think like you're in really good shape. I think mostly you just need some extended US time. Like if you can get like a
yeah,
few months and like go to a bunch of majors and stuff in the US, like just like
yeah.
one
I
or
feel
two
like
of those and you'd definitely be like top 15, top 12, whatever.
yeah, I definitely just like. Well, last trip was really good. I just stayed there a month and went to everything I could. And
Mhm.
this one I'm doing 3 weeks, so I definitely will see like improvements with it.
Mhm.
I'm definitely planning in the future like going for like 3 months or stuff,
You just need to
but
you
we'll
just need to
see.
kidnap one good player and take him back.
Yeah, I definitely need one.
It's
One
just
more.
one player better you. Like it's like, yo, Mango, just come down for 1 month and just train with me, and then you're just nasty.
I just like suck off from them, just get every skill from them. I was like, okay, you can go back.
It's like tied to a chair, like.
Yeah. Just
But yeah,
kidnap
no,
your pony from them.
you're doing a really good job despite the regional difficulties. I definitely think that like just focusing on the punish and stuff like that is a good idea. Like what you've been doing so far, and
Yeah.
yeah, just like closing up these gaps in like neutral and like mental and stuff, and like making sure you don't fall into rhythms and stuff like that is definitely just gonna be like the next step, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think neutral's pushing me back somehow, but it's like something it'll eventually like work out.
Mm-hmm. No, I think like the stuff we talked about is like a really good like next step in like the neutral game.
Yeah.
All
Because I
right, dude.
feel like I
What's up?
sometimes just like fall into like very cold mode or very hot mode, and I never get the balance.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
You
very
have to
important.
very consciously like shift it while you're practicing.
Yeah.
Like you have to like attack, attack. You're like, wait, I'm chasing him. Back off, back off, back off. Oh, attack, attack. Back off, back off. Like you have to actually like literally like be thinking that while you practice. Not in tournament. Like you want to automate it so it just kind of comes out when you decide to
Yeah.
play. But like you need to like kind of make it happen. And be very conscious of like whether you're playing kind of hot or cold while you're practicing.
Okay.
All right, dude. Sounds good.
That's pretty good.
It was fun talking.
Yeah, for real.
I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
Yeah, see ya.
Peace.